Everybody in first place, raise your glass, let's celebrate. Own lane in your own race. Why you got such a sad face? Not up to me, you chose your fate. It's a long way going down. All I can do is say congratulations. All you niggas do is slay and hate. But how can you hate when you can't relate? I ain't got time, I got moves to make. Cross the finish, not shake and bake. I don't know what to do with my hands. Look at this money and dance. Oh, man. She like, give me one more chance. All I do is give her cash. She get the cash, she drop it so fast. She on the pole, she doing the dance. I'm like, mommy, come give me that stance. I'm like quarterback and she a hike. I don't give a fuck, she rockin' the mic. She got hands, she gon' go out of.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Who Got Game. It's November 15th, and I'm wearing shorts because we live in L.A., and it is 84 degrees today, so I'm feeling good. Jason Zone Fisher in the house, as always, joined by my man, Pavy. What's up, Pavy? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm warm now.
Yeah, you were back in Chicago this weekend. What was the weather like there?
It was like 30 degrees. Okay, so I was by the lake, so that also has an effect, huh?
Yeah, lake effect.
Yeah, so that also has an effect. So really, it was like 25, 28 degrees.
Cold.
Like light snow. It wasn't really sticking, but it was like light snow. Yeah, it was normal Chicago November weather.
Yeah, well, not here in L.A. That's why we both live out here on the West Coast, because it is a beautiful day. We'll be joined in a couple minutes by Baron Davis, BD. We left the seat open for him because he would have kicked me out if I sat in his chair anyway. But he'll be here in a couple minutes to talk about everything that's been going on in the NBA over the last week. A lot to catch up on. First and foremost, let's talk about some of the biggest surprises in the NBA this week, so far this season. We're 1 month in. Week 4 just closed. We're starting week 5. And in the Eastern Conference, the standings are wild. I never would have predicted that the Washington Wizards would have the best record in the Eastern Conference, that my beloved Cleveland Cavaliers would have the 4th best record in the East. They are playing incredible basketball at 9-5 right now, or 9-3. No, 9-5.
No,
I think
9-3.
Oh yeah, 9-5. 9-5. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. I will take that.
That's a good record.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm feeling good about that. But then teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Atlanta Hawks, who were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, the Indiana Pacers, who people thought they would be really solid. They've been slow out the gate. The Boston Celtics, none of those teams would be in the playoffs if they started today. Yeah. What's the biggest surprise for you in the East? Is it one of the disappointing teams, or is it one of the hot starting teams that we mentioned?
For me, not one of the disappointing teams, like even the Bucks. I don't really count what they've done right now because obviously Holiday had a bruise heel like in Game 1. I think he played a half and then didn't play until he came back, but I'm not sure when it was. Portis was out. Dante DiVincenzo just starting 2-guard. He's still out.
Yep.
Middleton's been in COVID protocol. So, and also these guys went to the Olympics. Like even you saw Phoenix. Phoenix kind of started slow, and then now I think Phoenix has ran off like 8 straight games.
Yeah, they're 9-3.
Yeah,
now,
I think the Bucks will get it together eventually. So the Bucks, I'm not really on. The Hawks, I also think the Hawks will get it together. I don't know if they'll have the same. Even if you go back to last year, when they fired the coach and Nate took over, that's when they kind of went on that run.
Yes.
But now there's film on them. You know what they're gonna do. So it's not gonna, and they're not gonna sneak up on anybody.
Right.
I would say biggest surprises for me, maybe the Wizards and the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Wizards, I don't think they'll finish number 1.
No.
But when you look at their roster, like I'm sure Bradley Beal was happy that he had some scoring help. I think they're top 10 at offense and defense right now, if I'm not mistaken. Also, Bradley Beal isn't having the season that we've come accustomed to him having the last couple of years, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be averaging 30 points. I think if he's doing it, he's probably having to do a little bit too much.
Sure.
So them in Cleveland, man, like I've watched a lot of Cleveland games. I feel like Cleveland has a team right now that embodies kind of like the city of Cleveland.
Yes.
I think they're like a hard-nosed type of team. You don't score that many points against the Cavaliers. Evan Mobley looks like a whole alien dropped from Saturn somewhere. Rubio is really, really helping this team along a lot.
Yes.
Garland is coming along, and also Laurie is hurt. Like and they play with 3 7-footers. It's something you don't see too much these days. Yeah. I like what the Cavs are doing. So I'll probably say the biggest surprises are the teams who are winning that we maybe didn't expect to see this from this early.
I agree with you. I'm a Cavs fan. I watch most Cavs games. I'm super excited about this team. They are really fun. They start when Markkanen's healthy. 3 7-footers in their lineup with Jared Allen Evan Mobley and Lauri Markkanen, which is tough. Presents some challenges that no one else in the NBA puts out a lineup that looks like that.
Yeah, if I could even, I know when I went to the game, I was Clippers Cavs game, and PG was talking about it. He was like, yo, usually if you get Cleveland, like you ISOing them, you get past Jared Allen, it's Evan Mobley or Lauri Markkanen down there. And I don't think Lauri's the best defender, but he's still 7 feet tall.
Right, yeah,
Or
exactly.
you beat Lauri, there's Jared Allen, and there's Evan Mobley down there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you said, it presents challenges that you don't really see too much in today's era of basketball.
Now let's talk about Evan Mobley for a second. I feel like
Slim
he
dunking.
fell in Cleveland's lap because they really, the talk going into the draft was Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green. These guys are the stars. And then there's some good players, good prospects, but it's kind of everybody else after those top two. Cleveland with the number 3 pick. It's like, well, we just signed Jared Allen, but let's just take the best available, Evan Mobley. And they lucked out because he looks like he's the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He looks like a veteran out there, man.
Yeah.
So poised. He's got such an offensive skill set. He's got range. He can shoot. He's got low post moves. Excellent defensively. He looks poised. They played over the weekend, the Boston Celtics, Saturday night. They were down by 19 points, the Cavs were. Came back and won that game. And who was making the big defensive plays at the end of the game? It was Evan Mobley. And they were going to Evan Mobley on Jason Tatum at the end of the game as like, we need a bucket. They're going to him. He did not look like a rookie.
And he was giving you quality, actually skilled
Yes.
buckets. Like I think even like the hook shot he put up.
Yeah.
Like he was giving you quality, skilled buckets. And honestly, if this draft had took place 20 years ago, Evan Mobley would have been the number 1 pick.
Right.
I just think that in today's day and era, when you see guards, especially a guy like Cade Cunningham, who's a bigger guard, you see a guy like Luka and you see Cade, you don't think, he can do some of those things, and that remains to be seen.
Sure.
But I think if this draft would have took place 10, 15 years ago, Evan Mobley would have went number 1.
Yes, I agree with that. But the game has evolved and changed so much, and it worked out in Cleveland's favor because Evan Mobley is getting it done right now for the Cavs. A big surprise team in the East, 4th place in the conference, playing really well. Which of these teams, the Cavs and the Wizards, do you think will be a playoff team? We're only 12 games in out of an 82-game season. A lot of basketball left. I don't know if the Wizards are going to hold on to the number 1 seed that they're at. It'll probably settle down or average out. Do you think either of these two teams make the playoffs when it's all said and done?
Yeah, I think both teams could very well make the playoffs. Like I think Cleveland may be more of a play-in team. Wizards, honestly, same thing too. Like, I don't know if they'll stay directly at number 1. I think realistically 5 to maybe 8 for the Wizards.
Yeah.
And for the Cavs, I think they could be a play-in team. And if you do the Cavs, that's something to get completely excited about. I mean, if you look at where they were when Bron left, you look at that season, then you look at kind of like the disappointment of the Love Drummond era.
Yep.
And, you get this team and you can get into the playoffs, or like at least just to play in and just get your fan base excited. That's something to be excited about if you're a Cavs fan. In my personal opinion.
I got a question. As a Cavs fan, I want to hear your opinion. Now, they're doing this right now without Colin Sexton. He was playing pretty well this season, but he tore his meniscus, so he's out. Colin Sexton has not gotten a contract extension. A lot of guys in his rookie class have signed bigger deals. He was a top draft pick for the Cavs. They haven't invested in him yet. Do you think they should? Because obviously there's a salary cap. It ties up money in him. Colin Sexton, he's their leading scorer every season, the last couple of years. But is he the guy that you should invest in to build around?
Absolutely not. But I do think he is an incredible 6-man. I've said this you can ask TP. I've said this for many years. Even when I would play with the Cavs on 2K, I would always honestly, I would let Sexton go into restricted free agency.
Yeah.
Let the market set what his worth is and bring it back as a 6-man. Like, I understand the fact that, you have 3 7-footers behind you, so you can kind of run out 2 smaller guards because you have 3 7-footers behind you. But just imagine if you could get a 2 guard that was actual, like, 2 guard size and run, Garland, a 6'6" 2 guard, Lauri, Evan, Jared Allen, and bring Colin off the bench. Yeah. Like, I think
I was hopeful, but a little skeptical as a Cavs fan coming into the season. It's been a pleasant surprise thus far, though, for sure. Over in the Western Conference, things starting to, take shape a little bit as we expected. The cream rises to the top. One team who started slow but then won 7 in a row were the LA Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. They did lose last night to the Chicago Bulls, but I know you cover the Clippers, Pavy, along with our producer TPJ and the Hoops and Brew squad. What has impressed you the most about this Clippers team thus far, a month into the season?
Defensively, they're really solid every night. And also, I know people had a lot of things to say about the acquisition of Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah.
But the acquisition of Eric Bledsoe actually has really helped his basketball team. He's shooting well from the three-point line. I don't know if that'll continue in this recent winning streak. I don't know if he'll continue shooting what he's been shooting. But the fact that he gives them things that I love Pat Bev, Chicago legend, but he gives them things that Pat Bev didn't give them.
Right.
You know, he gives you basically the same amount of defense, but also his offensively, his penetration, his playmaking ability. He's stronger. You know, so probably Eric Bledsoe is probably, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, he's the guy who's coming off the bench and giving them quality. Like, you can leave him out there for 10 minutes and not really lose that much from Zubac. You know, and even when you get Serge back, and I know Serge actually requested to go to the G League to get his reps in.
Interesting.
So when you get Serge back, and you know he's in there and he's more in rhythm, like, I don't expect them to be a finals team. No. But I do expect them to be a playoff team and will be a hard out for anybody that they face.
Now, what if Kawhi Leonard comes back for the postseason?
Then if Kawhi Leonard comes back, then that's a different conversation. But also, I would think it would be hard to work your way from an ACL back into a playoff situation. So in my personal opinion, I would kind of just roll with what you got going. Let Kawhi rest and roll with what you got going. Now, the one thing I will say about the Clippers is PG must stay on the court and stay healthy.
Yeah, well, and he's been playing incredible. We do a lot of fantasy basketball talk here on Who Got Game. We got our fantasy basketball league and squads on the Sleeper app. And Paul George has been, if not the best player in fantasy basketball, definitely in the top 3 or 4. I mean, just all around what he's done on both sides of the ball, getting tons of steals, blocks, assists, points, rebounds, three-point shooting. Paul George has been backing it up and playing at that like playoff P level that we saw at the end of last season.
Yeah, he's having a MVP caliber season at this point. You know, I know Paul George gets a lot of flack from people, but at the same time, I mean, if you look at the injuries this man has persevered throughout his career, the leg, 2 torn labrums. When PG is healthy, PG is a damn good basketball player. Yeah, like you would be hard pressed to name 2 small forwards better than Paul George when he's healthy.
That's true. So, he is playing up to the MVP level, but probably the 2 leading candidates for MVP so far this season, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, they're going head-to-head tomorrow night when the Golden State Warriors visit the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Probably the game of the week. I'm really excited for that. The Golden State Warriors, the best record in the NBA, 11-2. They lost for just the second time all season last night on the road in Charlotte to the upstart Hornets team. I'm excited for tomorrow's game as Brooklyn's starting to get it together, get some rhythm. KD's been playing incredible. James Harden's starting to have some nice games back-to-back as well. Who do you expect to win tomorrow night between Warriors and Nets?
Warriors and Nets tomorrow night. It's in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Nets. I think that would be a kind of a statement win for the Nets, in my personal opinion. Yes, they lost to the Bulls. I can't really. Who have they beat that was good?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't remember their schedule off the top of my head, but
I can't think of a statement. Like, I can't. I'm sure they haven't beat all sub 500 teams. Yeah, but I can't think of a statement win early in the season.
Maybe
for the Nets
Nuggets or someone like that.
Have they played the Nuggets?
I think so. I mean, I can look this up and see who their quality wins are. Also, for all of you watching live right now, we appreciate it. But you get involved in the chat, comments, tweet us. We'll try to get you guys up here as well, or maybe be our stat checker on who the quality wins that the Warriors have had.
I can't think of any quality the Warriors, right? The Bulls went in there. Granted, Vucevic is dealing with COVID protocol, but they got shellacked. They went in there and got ran out the Chase Center. So I can tell you statement wins that the Warriors have had.
Sure.
As far as the Nets, I can't really tell you any statement wins that they've had. So I'm gonna go with the Nets because I think that it would be an early season. Yeah, we're here. I know that we had our struggles early in the season. I know we may not have the quote-unquote best record, but we got the best team in the Eastern Conference so far right now, point blank, period. Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Nets.
Well, it's going to be a big one. I'm excited to see it. Steph versus KD. These guys haven't really had many great battles one-on-one. Obviously, they played great together with the Warriors team, but, Draymond's going to be talking a lot of trash tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. I think both these teams want to win this game. Obviously, you want to win every game, but I think this is a statement game. Only 3 games on the schedule all of tomorrow night. This is the only one at that time taking place. So, the NBA world will be watching that game. It'll be a big one.
Can I throw one more name into the MVP conversation?
Please.
I know he's been had an ankle issue recently.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy Butler.
All right.
Before he went down with
Yeah.
the ankle injury, I think the Heat had the best record in the league.
They were
I
up
think
there.
he was like top 10 or top 5 in most offensive and defensive categories.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Butler, before he went down with the ankle, obviously had to get back, get healthy, and they have to keep winning. But I think he was playing at the same level as those other guys as well.
He's been great. I think the problem with Jimmy and the MVP conversation as that develops over the course of the season is that the Heat are such a deep team with adding Kyle Lowry, who brings the ball up and is a great playmaker, Bam Adebayo, probably their second best player, and then Tyler Hero, the leading candidate for Sixth Man of the Year, who's really like taken over and stepped his game up too. There's just so many other pieces on that Heat team that I feel like it's hard for it to feel like it's Jimmy's team. It feels more like a team.
That's fair. But I mean, even the Warriors to me feel like a team. Like Jordan Poole's been playing
That's
great.
true. That's true.
Obviously Draymond's always Draymond.
Yeah.
Bielisa, I like the acquisition of
Wiggins has had some good games.
Wiggins has I think that them losing the past 2 years, but those young guys getting a chance to really go out there and just play, I think that experience will bode well for them as this year plays out, because these guys will be in situations that they won't be new to.
Yeah. Well, so we're, a month into the season, so it's way too early to make finals predictions. But in the Western Conference, do you think the Warriors are the team to beat right now? Because they're doing this without Klay Thompson, without James Wiseman, guys who are about to start taking contact 5-on-5.
Yeah.
They'll be back before too long. Would you say they are now the favorites in the West?
If you ask me to bet money, I would probably say the Warriors are the favorite in the West. If you ask me to bet money right now,
if I say here's $100, go put it on
put it on the
anyone you
Warriors.
want, you'd put it on the Warriors.
Reason being is because, granted, I love what the Lakers have. I still think the Lakers, they got Bron is out.
Yep.
We still haven't seen Kendrick Nunn play basketball.
Yep.
Taylor Horton-Tucker just came back.
Yep.
My thing about Trevor Reeves is still out. But my thing with the Lakers is I don't know if they'll, again, the same thing as I said the past couple of years, health. They got to be healthy and there down the line. But I think the Lakers have all the pieces to be able to do it. But actually right now, I would probably trust the health of the Warriors more down the stretch than I would the Lakers. If you ask me to put my money on something today, November, 15th?
November 15th.
November
So,
15th,
yeah.
2021.
So as of today, you would go Warriors.
I would go Warriors are the favorite in the West. I would probably still say Warriors, Lakers conference finals.
Yeah.
But if the Warriors and Lakers maxed up, even when I look at what the Lakers do against teams that like to get out and run, they have an issue with that.
Yep.
Like it's why the Spurs play them close. That's why the Hornets play them close. Against teams that like to get out there and run, they usually seem to have issues. And the Warriors are a team that likes to get out there and run, so I think they have issues against that team.
It does seem like the Warriors and the Lakers are kind of those top two that feel like they're for real in the West. And then there's this next group that's interesting. Teams like the Utah Jazz, who had the best record in the season last year. They're off to a strong start. They got, they're playing pretty well. They got the Denver Nuggets. You've got the Phoenix Suns. Kind of got this next grouping. Last year, obviously, Phoenix took advantage of some matchups and some other injuries and were able to go all the way to the finals. So maybe the Clippers, who would you think could be that team to be this year's Phoenix Suns that we didn't necessarily think would be there of these solid teams, but like they could be there in the end?
If I had to pick a team out of that group, I guess I'll go to Jazz.
Oh, and the Mavs, I should say, because they're actually playing good basketball right now. They've got I think 8-4 is their record. They're playing pretty well, and KP's back, and he's playing well too now.
Dallas is you can never discount Dallas because in any series they can have the best player on the court. So you can never discount. Also, Porzingis, I know people say what they want to say about Porzingis, but he's a good basketball player. So in any series they could realistically have two out of three of the best players on the court. Yeah. If I had to pick one team, I'm going to go to Utah Jazz. Reason being is because it's time to take that next step. Right. Y'all done everything else, but it's time to take that next. The only thing that worries me about the Utah Jazz is I don't like how much they don't use Rudy in the offense. If you see my tweets, you see me complain about this on Twitter so much. It's just that the man shoots like, throw the man the ball. Yep. If he gets switched on the guard, you mean to tell me the man can't turn around and just throw the ball up?
Right.
At the very least, he gonna get fouled, and at the foul line, he shoot like Giannis.
Yeah.
So when I see Clarkson shooting these long step back threes, Donovan shooting these long step back threes, the ball bounce wherever, those lead to basically turnovers, in my personal opinion, because the ball bounced to wherever. I would like to see them just dump the ball down to Rudy a little bit more and use him kind of like how France used him in the Olympics. Yeah. But to answer your question, if I had to pick a team, I would say the Jazz just because that's the next step. And Rudy Gay still hasn't played yet. And that's a guy who I
true.
think could come and help that team as well.
Yeah, that's right. I think I agree with you, Utah Jazz. It's like time for them to take that next leap. They've got the best defensive player in the NBA. Has won 3 of the last 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards in Rudy Gobert. Donovan Mitchell, he kind of keeps taking his game to the next level, especially when it comes to the postseason. His numbers are crazy. Yeah. He plays at an MVP level in the postseason. Veteran like Mike Conley, Rudy Gay, guys who've been there before. Royce O'Neal does the dirty work along with Bogdanovich there. And like they've got a deep team, Clarkson off the bench. So I think the Jazz can make some noise in the postseason. But the Denver Nuggets are a team who never get any respect. They've got the MVP, Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray's out right now. But I think the biggest disappointment in the NBA from a player thus far 1 month into the season is Michael Porter Jr. I thought this was the season he was going to take a big leap forward, talk about like in the all-star conversation that he should be up there, more opportunity, more shots. He's out right now for the foreseeable future with a lower back issue, so we don't know. That could be a week, it could be a month, it could be multiple months. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Mm-hmm. But even before that, he's averaging less than 10 points per game. That's crazy. What's going on with MPJ and the situation in Denver?
I mean, if his back hurt, I mean, like if the back hot, the back hot. If the man back hurt, the man back hurt. Like, that's the question that we had about Michael Porter Jr. on draft day.
That's true.
Like, I remember at the draft, he limped down the stairs. Yeah. When they brought everybody out at the draft, he limped down the stairs. He missed a whole year from the back. Like, if his back is hurting, again, he's out for the foreseeable future with back problems. That would lead me to believe that he may have just had back problems in general. That's troubling for the Nuggets because you just signed that man for 5 years, 140. But yeah, I think his back is just hurt. I think there was even one play in which he went up for a layup and like he couldn't elevate and he just like smoked the layup. To me, that's things where it's like you're just not healthy in my personal opinion. Yeah. So I'm gonna just say health is with him and you know, if he's not healthy, that's troubling.
It is. I hope he gets right. He's a talented player. He's shown flashes of it, but been disappointing this year. Clearly not healthy, not right. And Nikola Jokic still putting up MVP caliber numbers every game that he plays. He's been getting a triple-double every single night.
I think currently he has the highest PR in NBA history.
In history?
In NBA history.
Wow.
It's higher than like a Wilt Chamberlain PR. I think it's like 36.1 or something like that.
I mean, it's crazy how effortlessly he gets triple-doubles. He's just their best passer, rebounder, and scorer on the team.
And I will say this. I think Denver is on the clock with Jokic.
Really?
Yeah, I think he has, like 2 to 3 more years left on his deal.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray is hurt. Obviously, he has to come back, get back to form. You just paid Michael Porter Jr. a lot of money. You hope it works out. But like those are 2 contracts that kind of like cap strap your team, especially because those are 3 maxes in Denver.
Right.
So those are 2 contracts that kind of cap strap your team. I think Denver is on the clock when it comes to Jokic.
I think Denver is a little worried about the contract they gave Michael Porter Jr. because they locked up a lot of money, max money, with one guy. So, you know, they need more production out of him and they need health out of him.
And I have a team. I don't know if I want to go there yet, but I do have a team for Jokic in 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay. Who's that going to be?
Chicago Bulls.
Oh, okay. All
right. I'm really like the Bulls GM is the person who drafted Jokic.
Okay.
And if you look at the things that Vucevic does in his offense for the Bulls, imagine if that was Nikola Jokic. Yeah. They'll probably most likely, the way they've structured the deals, have the cap room that summer. I think DeMar comes off the books. The only 2 people that really be on the books, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is Zach and Lonzo. So that's a team that I think in a couple years, even just, you know, his brothers, kind of like the structure, like the city. You were in Denver, you going to Chicago. I think that's. I'm just put that out there right now. I think Denver is on the clock when it comes to Jokic.
All right, we'll save this clip and see if that comes true in 3 years. If Chicago's going to upgrade their Nicolas from Vucevic to Jokic, we'll see how that plays out. But Denver obviously is hoping that you are wrong and that they get it together and can reach that next step in Denver with the Nuggets.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll see how that all happens. Lots of great stuff going on in the NBA right now. One team who's been disappointing in the East, we kind of briefly touched on them, are the Atlanta Hawks. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Yeah. They've not been playing well at all. We're on a big losing streak. They did get a big win last night. Trae Young and the Hawks beat the Bucks by 20 points. Yeah. Trae went for 42, 10, and 8 with 8 3-pointers. He brought it. But they did get a big loss in starting small forward DeAndre Hunter. Broke his wrist, having surgery. He's going to be out for the next 2 months. Do you think that's a big loss for them, or they're one of these deep teams that it's kind of next man up, and maybe that'll actually open the door for Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, some of these other guys, Bogdanovich, to get more looks?
I mean, I think defensively it's a big loss because he's your best perimeter defender. Like, I even looked at what he did on, like granted, it was like game 2. I think it was game 1.
Yeah.
What he did on Luka. Game 1, he definitely affected him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's their best perimeter defender.
Yep.
So I think it's a big loss from that standpoint. But I'm with you. I think the roster is so deep. You have Herter, you have Cam Reddish, you have guys. And it's not like he was scoring like 25 points or something like that.
Right.
So you have guys who can at least replace his offense, and you hope that you can, as a team, replace what he brings to the table defensively. But it's definitely not letting to just completely look over. Like DeAndre Hunter is something that is a person that means something to that basketball team.
Yeah, it's too bad for him. The number 4 pick in the draft a couple of years ago, he just has not had a full.
Keeps getting hurt, man.
Yeah, he's not had a healthy season, and it's too bad because I really thought he was going to take a big leap this.
Yeah,
season
he was.
as well.
He was at last year because I had him on fantasy team last year. We can talk fantasy as well. But I had him last year. He was 50, 40, 90 in the month of January before he went down with his knee. So, I mean, I remember even writing an article saying, like, yo, I think that, like, he's a key component to the Hawks going to that next level.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was a guy who could give you, elite level defense, but still also average 20, 22 points at a close to a 50, 40, 90 clip. So,
right.
DeAndre, I hope you get well. And
I want to see that. Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of fantasy, over in our celebrity fantasy league on the Sleeper app, I picked up a W last week. I don't know, how'd you do, Pavy?
I lost.
Oh.
And B got the vid.
Let's see the current standings. BD's squad doing pretty well at 3-1 there, tied for second place in the league. I'm right below there, tied for, 5th place at 2-2, Team Jay-Z Fish. Pavy, your squad is also 2-2, your Hyde Tribe.
Yep,
So, right?
2-2. Yep, Hyde
All right,
Tribe.
and then our producer, TPJ, is towards the bottom at 1-3. TP, what's going on, man? What's up with your squad? Jaylen Brown is hurt, is what he says. Well, I'm playing TPJ this week, so get ready to take another loss. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at the rosters real quick. To see some of these matchups. So this is Pavy, your squad right here.
Okay,
Ja
real
Morant.
quick. I want to say 2 things.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be on it because it hasn't processed yet.
Okay.
But I picked up Taylor Horton-Tucker.
Smart.
And I picked up one other person. Who else did I pick? Oh, I picked up Isaiah Hartenstein. So I
Did you
picked
drop Hunter, DeAndre?
Yes, I did drop DeAndre Hunter. I'm sorry. Nick Claxton is on IR and Embiid is on IR because of COVID. Embiid is what's really like. I lost Embiid, bro.
That
What do
does hurt.
want me-
You
what
got a
do you
nice
want me to
squad,
do?
though. You've got a
Yes.
nice squad. I think you took Kevin Porter Jr. too early,
I
if
did.
I remember. It
I
was
did.
It was
I
a bit
thought-
of a reach.
I thought that he would do what he did last year. That was
Yeah.
me foolishness, not understanding. When he went to the Rockets last year, they were like terrible. They were just letting him run wild and do whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I
it's
did
too
take-
early in
yes,
the season for
yes,
that right now, and
yes.
turnovers hurt you in fantasy
Yes.
basketball
and
too.
Lord Jesus, keep you turning the ball over.
Yeah, but Jonas Valanciunas, he's
Yeah.
been getting it done, especially with no Zion.
I picked him second round because I never thought. I mean, granted, I hope he does. Would love to see Zion back out there on the court, but I never thought Zion was gonna play this year.
Do you think he'll be out all season?
I just don't think he's gonna play this year.
Well, it seems like they're in full tank mode in New Orleans already.
I don't think they're trying to be in tank mode. They
But
just suck.
they're 2-12.
They're just
they're
bad.
2-12.
Yeah,
So
they're not
it's like,
trying to be in tank mode. They're just bad.
should they just sit Zion at this point? Or
Why?
risk a
Like
further
it's
injury?
like with the Pelicans. How much more young talent can you keep adding?
Yeah, I mean,
How much more? Like you got Brandon Ingram. I don't even think he even 25 years old yet.
Right,
You got
right.
Zion. He young. You got You got Alexander Walker. He's
Yep.
young. Jackson Hayes. He's still young.
Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham. He's I think 4 years pro.
Yeah.
You have a whole bunch of young talent. Like at some point, it's time to start trying to win basketball games. You can't just keep drafting players and putting them into a. I don't want to say it's a bad culture, but to me it seemed like it's been about 10 years and they just can't get right.
Right,
So
right.
you just want to keep adding these young players into a team. So yes, and what happened the week before, I won the week.
Yeah.
It was against Motivated Purpose.
Okay.
Shout out Kahari Jones. I won the week. Then they did a score readjustment and I lost the week.
That is
Now to my dismay, I picked terrible picks.
Yeah.
It was my fault. But still,
That
sucks.
That's painful. So for those of you watching how it works in the Sleeper app, you got your lineup you start each week, but some guys play 4 games, some guys play 2 games. You just pick one game that you want your players' stats to count towards. So there's a lot of strategy based on the matchup, based on this, if it's the second night of a back-to-back, is it home or road? All that sort of stuff is a factor, and you got to pick wisely because you could pick a guy, a great player, and he has a dud. You got to pick him on the night that he brings it. Here's my squad. I'm feeling pretty good about Fred VanVleet, about OG, about Jokic, of course, who's been incredible, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But to be honest, De'Aaron Fox, I was hoping for a little more out of him. I think he's not been bad, but he's not been
hasn't taken a
as
step as
good.
you wanted
Yes,
to
I thought he was going to take a leap forward. Not yet. Still early in the season. Michael Porter Jr., we talked about him already. He's been a disappointment, out indefinitely right now. And Isaiah Stewart, too, has been kind of disappointing. I thought he was a guy.
He's been disappointing?
It's just not, he's not been as good as I thought he would be.
That's fair.
I thought he would be bringing a little bit more as well.
But you have Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic
You have
can
Jokic, which
alone
every night,
win you a week.
Yeah, Jokic every night is.
But especially while he's not here yet, BD, he did offer me a trade, and
What trade?
I think I should take this trade, to
trade
be honest with you. Let me try to find it real quick here, in the Sleeper app, see where
Is this what he offered you last week?
It is, but I think it's still pending. Where do you see these things, these trades? Here, all right, here, I got it. Okay, so I would give up. I should just do it right now. I should accept it. All right. I would give up Isaiah Stewart.
Okay.
Jalen Green, the rookie, who I don't like partying with him this early in the season because I think he could turn it on later, right? Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Uh-huh.
He's been great. And Desmond Bane, who I'm okay giving him up. I get back Al Horford, who's been
solid.
really good when
really
he
good in
plays.
Boston.
Mo Bamba, who's been phenomenal, to be honest. He's getting it done.
Yeah.
Mo Bamba. Tyler Hero, who I'm a big fan of.
Make that trade.
And Devin Vassell.
Yeah, make that trade.
I should do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Guess what, BD? You're late. I'm doing it right now. Watch. This will get his attention. I'm accepting it. I'm getting back Al Horford, Mo Bamba, Tyler Hero, Devin Vassell, and I'm giving up Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's been good.
Been good.
Desmond Bane, Isaiah Stewart, and Jalen Green, the rookie.
Yeah, see, 2 weeks ago when he offered you that trade, it wasn't. It was like kind of an even trade. Now, definitely you should take that.
All right. It's hard to give up Jalen Green, the rookie. I think he will turn it on
It's
later.
not. You got Tyler Hero.
But,
You'll be all right.
let's go. I'm accepting it. Trade is going through. What's up, BD?
That is hilarious.
Accept,
He gonna
confirm,
walk in like, bro, what?
Done. I've accepted the trade. That's right, BD. When you're late to the show, this is what happens. I accepted it. The deal is done. It's completed. Our first in-show trade, not of all time, but of the season, I think.
No, I don't think we made in-show trades on the basketball.
Well, football, we've been doing it.
But
that's our first in-show trade.
Basketball
It
trade.
went down. BD he's just in the next room right now. The man's always busy. He's in a meeting. He was supposed to be on here already. That's going to get his attention because I just accepted his trade. So thank you very much, BD. My team just got much improved headed into week 5 of the NBA.
Yes, it did.
Let's go. Okay. I like it. Pavy, any things you want to discuss in the NBA? Maybe some injury news, disappointing teams, exciting teams, players who you like on the come up. Anything that you've been feeling? Any hot takes?
I just want to talk about DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
I want to talk about DeMar DeRozan, what he's doing in Chicago.
Yeah.
And what went, I don't want to say wrong in San Antonio, but what didn't happen in San Antonio and what is happening here in Chicago. Because this is the DeMar I thought we would get once he got traded. I remember even if you go back on Hoops and Brews, I said I think I picked when he gets traded 18, 19. Mm-hmm. I said he would win MVP. I thought we would get mad, come out 26, 27 points and do the things that he's doing this year.
Right.
So what if I could ask you, what do you think is the biggest difference between Chicago DeMar and San Antonio DeMar?
I think he's just got new energy, new life. I mean, he didn't choose to go to San Antonio. He was playing within a system, but he was adjusting to the fact that like he just left this squad and then he sees his former team win the championship with his best friend Kyle Lowry. He's not there anymore. There's a lot of the mental health is obviously a big part of it with DeMar DeRozan too. So I feel like a lot of it's probably happiness, finding that joy, and now being in a situation that he wants to be in on the Chicago Bulls with new life, new energy, renewed passion for the game. I feel like it all comes from that, from just his mentality around it all, his desire, and the joy that he's finding in basketball again. That's what I see on the court.
Sure. I mean, when he's from LA, you know, you go to Toronto, which is basically the New York, from what I've heard, the New York of Canada.
Okay, all right.
It's a really huge city. It's a great place.
Yeah.
You know, he also was in there in the era in which, you know, his 10-year anniversary of Take Care, in which Drake came up. So it was like, there was an energy around Toronto. Now you go to Chicago, third biggest city in America, and we love hooping Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, even when I watch Bulls games, I haven't heard the United Center that loud. This is the most fun Bulls team. The only thing fun about those teams was Derrick Rose. I did not like watching those teams play basketball. Have you watched those games?
I mean, Derrick
did you
Rose
like Boozer
was fun.
screaming? That's it.
Yeah, well, he was fun. He was the MVP. Is the MVP season? You think this
That's
team?
it?
Yeah, okay.
The team wasn't fun.
All right.
Watching Derrick Rose was fun. Caruso is fun.
Yeah.
Lonzo is fun. Zach
True.
does something every game. Zach got mad. Caruso caught a diving steal,
Right.
threw it to Lonzo. Lonzo threw a bullet pass,
Yeah,
and
that
Zach
was
360.
crazy. That was crazy.
When
that
have
play.
you seen that in the Bulls uniform? Honestly, since Jordan,
Yeah.
early Jordan, not even later Jordan, early Jordan.
That was wild. That was wild.
You know, so with him, like I'm happy he's in this situation. He looks like he's having fun, and I enjoy the way he's been playing basketball. You know, especially in this era in which you see everybody just chucking up threes. You see people complaining about foul calls. He's still getting to the line 8 times a game.
Yeah,
and it's actual fouls. He's still
great
getting to the
at
line 8 times a game. He's still giving you 26, 27 points. So I'm happy that he's having a resurgent season, because I think the fact that he was losing to LeBron,
Right.
like LeBron
Yeah,
Toronto,
yeah.
people kind of like, oh, DeMar. I remember arguing about DeMar. Someone like, bro, DeMar's cold, best shooting guard in the league.
Right.
Nah, he be getting smoked by LeBron, bro. It's the Cavs and LeBron.
Yeah, it's LeBron,
What
yeah.
do you want the man to do?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that he's in this situation where he seems to be happy and having some early success, and I hope they keep it up.
Definitely. I'm happy for him, too. And the Chicago is a fun team to watch. What's a best-case scenario for this Bulls team this year, and what's a worst-case scenario?
I think best-case scenario is playing games tricky.
Right.
So I think best-case scenario is conference finals. And even when I look at the East, I'm looking at the teams, and I'm like, I don't think you're better than the Nets. I don't think you're better than the Bucks. Everybody else,
Heat.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think you're better than, just looking matchup to matchup, I don't think you're better than the Heat and the Bucks. The Nets is tricky because it's about what Harden are you going to, like,
Right.
I know what KD is going to do, but, like, what Harden are you going to get?
Yeah.
Now, if Kyrie was there, this wouldn't even be a question, but it's about what Harden you're going to get. Sometimes I watch Harden. He's still great. He's still an incredible basketball player, but I do think he quite possibly has lost a step.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, from even going to so many NBA games and sitting close, if you lose a step, you lose a step.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's very fast-paced.
Yeah.
So I wonder about that. Obviously, he's also never really been hurt before.
Sure.
And Harden's coming off of grade 2 hamstring.
Yeah. He wasn't playing all off season. He was
Exactly.
just rehabbing. So some of this could be rust too.
Yeah. So that, and then one other thing I want to get your opinion on: the Portland Trail Blazers.
Mm-hmm.
What should they do? Dame, what should he do? Like, are the Blazers kind of like stuck in cement? Do they need to just look themselves in the mirror and say, "Hey, bro, this ain't working"?
I think so. I think for years they've been stuck in cement. They're a good team. They're going to sell tickets. They're going to go to the playoffs. They're going to be the 4, 5, 6, 7 seeds somewhere in there every year. But that's all that they're going to be, in my opinion. I think Damian Lillard, his numbers are not as what we would expect from him so far this season. Struggling a little bit. He's got an abdominal issue. Missed the last game. He might be playing this week. He might not be. We're kind of still unsure. CJ McCollum has been good, but not great in his absence. And yeah, I just think that we've seen the ceiling with this team. I believe they made it to, was it the conference finals one year, or at least the conference semifinals?
Yeah, that was the year KD was hurt.
Right.
They made it to the conference finals.
As far as this team is going to go. So at some point, what do you do? I think they do need to make a move. I don't know that trading Damian Lillard is the answer, because
So what else is the answer?
they're trying to trade other guys around him. I don't know if they move CJ for another piece, see what they can get for Nurkic, just try a new combination there. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but they seem stuck. They do not seem to me to be taking a leap forward or to have enough personnel and pieces in place to be a title contender. I think they're a pretender or a wannabe right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what the Blazers and also what Dame Lillard wants to do. Like the Blazers, like you said, they're always going to sell tickets. They're going to get playoff revenue, and you're in Portland, Oregon.
Right.
So it's not like you're in Los Angeles.
Sure.
Not like you're in Chicago, New York. You're in Portland, Oregon. So the main thing you want to make sure you do is keep butts in the seat, in the seats, sell some jerseys. Dame going to sell a whole bunch of jerseys.
Do that.
And get playoff revenue.
They can do those things.
That's what, like, with this roster constructed, they have constructed a roster that as long as everybody is healthy, they'll probably at least be a playoff team.
Yeah.
But like for Dame, you're 31 years old. You've been named to the top 75 all-time list at this point. Like, yeah, you can. You. How much longer do you want to do this? In my personal opinion, again, like you're 31 years old. You're on the other side. You have more days of basketball behind you than you do ahead of you, most likely.
Right.
I mean, unless you Tom Brady, and then you.
There are a lot of these teams in the league that seem like they're just kind of stuck in that playoff contender mode, but are they getting better? Teams like the Wizards are a surprise, but Bradley Beal and the Wizards, the Sixers, are they ready? Are they there? There are teams that could benefit from some shakeups in the league.
What do you think about the Celtics? Do you think the Celtics are one of those teams that are like kind of like stuck?
Yeah, I do. I think so a little bit too. That they're a playoff caliber team, but they're not a good enough team. But they are getting better. So Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, their core is improving year after year. So that's one thing I see them going up. I don't know you can say the same about Damian Lillard and this Blazers roster, that they're going to continue to get better each year staying together. The Celtics, at least for me, have some hope that like Jason Tatum could take a leap to be in the MVP conversation versus an all-star, and that they will continue to improve. And that obviously helps the squad.
I see the Celtics have an identity crisis. Like you have two wings, and who are you building around?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to build around Tatum.
Do you?
I think so.
Do
I think he could be one of the top 5 players in the NBA.
What makes him so much better than Jaylen Brown?
I think his size. I think his skills. I see TPJ does not agree. Our producer is not feeling it.
Again, I love Tatum's footwork. I think he has all the footwork, but at the same time, it's still 25 points. Jaylen Brown gets you them same 25, 20, 26 points. Probably a better defender. Now, it doesn't look as pretty. Right, he's probably a better defender. So I think they have one thing just like an identity crisis. Yeah. Like Tatum takes I haven't seen a player Zach takes a lot of tough shots, but Tatum is right up there where it's like taking a lot of tough shots. Yeah. A lot of his shots are long step backs. That's why Smart was mad. A long step back ISO is basically the ball bouncing anywhere, it turns into a turnover. Yeah. I think the Celtics are a team that have just an identity crisis. Yeah. Like you stacked up all this young talent. You didn't move any of it for stars, which I get why you don't, because you were still making the conference finals, conference semifinals with that roster. But do you think the roster as far as constructed has kind of peaked?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Remember when the Celtics had this young core and this stockpile of draft picks? And it's like, when are they going to cash in on these picks? What are they going to turn us into? They're just loaded and set. They haven't turned it into what have they turned it into?
No, it was a lot of unfortunate things. Obviously, you bring Hayward in, breaks his foot. Yeah, Kyrie was there. They just had a lot of unfortunate things that happened. Yeah. Like Kyrie basically misses the half of the season and the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Hayward gets hurt. You end up going to the conference finals, which convinces you that you don't need to do anything. Right. But then you bring all these people back who just had this success without these people, and chemistry issues. I don't know if chemistry played a part in it. Yeah. It's just it's Boston has a very interesting situation to me. Again, I still think there'll be a playoff team, but I don't know what gets them to that over there.
Well, they're not currently a playoff team. They've been losing a lot of games, a lot of close games that blew that 19-point lead over the weekend to the Cavs. They've lost some 2 double overtime games so far this season. So they could have a much better record, but they're not closing. And Tatum and Brown's been hurt, but Tatum's been in there for those games. And when you're playing double overtime, there's clearly many chances to win a game. But he's not capitalized. They haven't capitalized on it thus far. Still a lot of basketball left to be played. 12 weeks left in the season. We saw our squads. Let's take a look. I'm facing up against TPJ this week in fantasy basketball, our producer. Let's take a look at his team. Paul George, we mentioned, been one of the best players in the NBA, and Zach LaVine's been great too. But Jaylen Brown, who we were just speaking about, still out. So good timing for me to play against him this week.
Oh, you got two people. You got Marcus Morris out and Jaylen Brown out. Tybal is out with COVID as well.
Some injuries. And Evan Fournier, even Fournier over there.
What about the Knicks?
The Knicks? Well, the Knicks started strong, right? They were undefeated.
Strong. They were undefeated.
They've fallen off a little bit.
I think their starting lineup has, if I'm not mistaken, let's actually find the graphic. This was a graphic. So I sent it to my homie a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Because he is from New York and a Knicks fan. They have... So the Knicks starting five, Kemba Walker, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Robinson, have played the most. This was on Friday that I said this. Have played the most minutes this season. They are minus 78. They have the worst defensive lineup currently in NBA. The worst defensive rating in NBA history.
That's from a Tom Thibodeau team. You would not expect that at all.
You kind of would though.
Really?
I
think of him with defense.
But look at your guards.
Yeah.
You have Kemba and Fournier, and so that means you depend on your back line to stop everything.
Sure. Mitchell Robinson, who's on TPJ's team there, is obviously, the back line, a good defender, but he always gets in foul trouble. It's like you can't rely on him for more than 28 minutes a night, it feels like.
He jumps at everything.
Yeah. Man, all right. Well, it's going to be an interesting week. You want to make a little side bet, TPJ, on this week?
What you want to do?
Well, oh, man, he feels very skeptical about that. 10 bunny hops?
10.
Okay, 10 bunny hops. That's right. Next week, either I'm doing 10 bunny hops or TP's doing 10 bunny hops on air, on camera.
Why would you make that?
Whoever wins this, because he's going to be doing bunny hops.
25 push-ups.
No, and 10 bunny hops. 20. Yes.
Yeah, do both.
Yes, do both. 25 push-ups, which is
10
good.
bunny.
You'll get swole, and then you'll look better on camera for your bunny hops after that. 25 push-ups and 10 bunny hops. There it is. He gave the thumbs up. It's a deal. That's right. So tune in next week because TPJ is going to be doing 25 push-ups and 10 bunny hops. It's going to be fun. Maybe I'll do the push-ups with you
As long as you don't pick wrong, you should win.
I should. You never know, though. You never know, Sleeper. That's the great equalizer. Last week, Nickeil Alexander-Walker won me the week because I picked him on a night. He scored 42 fantasy points, which was crazy. He went off. But there's other games where he gets you, nothing. So you just got to pick it the right way on the Sleeper app. So we'll see how that all plays out. BD, and I don't know if this trade is going to go through. That could be a factor, too. I just re-up my team. I got some solid guys from BD. The
commissioner probably has to come.
Yeah, well, I'm going to see if the commission can push that through. We'll see if that happens. BD, right now, I haven't set my lineup. TPJ, according to the app, has a 63% chance of winning the week. I'm at 37%, but once I get my right lineup in there, we'll see if those percentages close out a little bit. Big week of basketball. Tonight we got Bulls versus Lakers in LA. It's going to be a fun one. Tomorrow night, Warriors versus Nets. And then Wednesday night, we've got a matchup between the Bucks and the Lakers, the last two defending champions in the league. Thursday night, a good matchup in the Eastern Conference between the first place Washington Wizards going to Miami to face the Heat in Miami. Another good one there because it's a good test, I think, for the Wizards. Are they for real or not going into Miami? Yeah. Can they get a win? That would be a big statement. So those are the next 4 nights of basketball starting tonight. 4 great games, lots of great lineups, lots of great stuff. It's all going to be happening in the NBA, and we're going to break it all down here on Who Got Game every Monday. Make sure to give me a follow at JZFish. Follow Pavy at
Pavy World, Pavy World, all one word.
At Pavy World, that's right. And follow the Hoops and Brews guys. Obviously, follow Baron Davis. I am Baron Davis, BD. He's over there. He's too upset based on the trade that I just stole all his good players from him to make an appearance this week. But that's all right. He'll be back next week for another edition of Who Got Game. TPJ, let's get out of here, everybody. Stay safe, enjoy the basketball, and we will see you soon right here on Who Got Game.